have some very unfortunate news to share regarding the Arctic shrimp boat build. While I was working on it, I did film an episode 4 and an episode 5, heavily finishing up the build and doing balancing, which also had a lot of changes in it, such as lowering this winch and adding some repair gear. However, both edited files I should say, got corrupted on moving them from my editing software to my actual files, like my actual files themselves to my PC storage. Meaning, I have definitely completely lost episode 5 because I didn't save it to the cloud when I moved it, and I've most likely permanently lost episode 4 because I can't remember if I saved it to the cloud. Episode 4 could still be recoverable if I can find it, but I remember I turned off automatically saving things to the cloud because I don't have a premium version of my editing software. However, I'm going to use this video as compensation for that, for giving a tour of what I did in case I cannot recover either files. To start off, I have completely reworked the winch. I kind of lowered it below the deck and improved the winch station. I just kind of wanted to keep it out of the way, do stuff like that. Added a repair gear locker right next to the ropes and hoses. I didn't change these much, but I redid the piping to them. Fix that. I added a central underdeck air system that when you're under the deck and say you have this as closed, there's these in systems and stuff. I can, so we have air system for the crew cabin and an air system for the engineering bay. We also have an emergency engine bay air valve in case it's really clogged up with smoke after a fire. That way, and the feed, the air system feed in here is broken, because that has no good way to drain without opening that door. CCTV camera system hasn't been changed much. I just moved the seat around a bit and redid the desk. I added a bilge pump and a backup battery, as well as some emergency systems, which include a flare launcher, alarm, and if we go up, a rotating light. I added a few more lights. And I added a transponder and strobe light, which also hooked up to the emergency system. You can activate these separately, and this one only does a transponder and strobe, while the emergency system does it all. I did some painting to make the hull cutter the same above and below the waterline. And I made it so it leans forward when you're not like using it. It kind of automatically trims forward. But when you actually start to use it, it pitches up to be a bit more even. I did this mainly because since it's not a long boat, it used to always go to the exhaust, which could cause problems. And so it can sustain heavier waves up to, I believe, 66 now, without like completely flying out of the water. And as this is meant to be an Arctic utility boat, so for like cargo and tugging, like tug missions, like covering missions, I kind of moved away from it being a research boat, because I know I've seen some pretty good Arctic strip boat research boats, but with all the systems I was adding, I figured it would make a better utility boat. I also added a weather station up at the top, which really just has temperature and wind speed. And added fire extinguishers dotted around the area. Eventually, I'm going to add some stuff up top, so you actually have a reason to have this ladder set before all of this. And I may add an emergency engine access on the deck. Going over to the crew quarters, I also have some emergency gear down here. I have a medical cabinet and a place to store winter gear for these two beds, because this one has it under the bed. I also added a toggle for refueling it, and separate bilge pumps for the engine. Kinda hear the air pumps. I need side pumping air in and out just to make sure it stays like fresh in here. We have the backup battery, main bilge pump. One problem with operating the main bilge pump is it can depressurize the whole cabin, while the air system can't because it has a pump going in and out. And it's probably a good idea to turn on and off the air system while you're like in rough seas like these, because deck sweepers can get under and get over the air system valves and flood the cabin. And then this is like a manual backup in case you lose power. We still have a fire suppression system, but I recolored the pipes for the suppression system and a lot of other pipes, just so it kind of fit in better. I'm not going to recolor these because these are way too important for maintenance. I also added a catalytic converter, I don't know how to pronounce that, to reduce the exhaust streams because of how much we're getting put out by the two engines. Just making it kind of hard to see. The equipment closet really hasn't changed. That's kind of all I changed. I redid the coloring for hatches and stuff. I fixed a lot of coloring issues, really. This build is almost set to go onto the workshop. And when it does, I'll make a post with the link to it. I'll take down the work in progress version from the workshop, which you can go check out as I put a link to it in my video, my third video in the series description, I believe. Could be the second one. But it has been recently updated to be around this version. There probably won't be many more updates to it unless I completely rework the ship again. But that probably won't happen. I'm pretty happy with it. I just have to fine-tune it. Then to see the engine has a tendency to die off in rough waters if you don't keep the starter on, because it's not like it drowns exactly. It doesn't exactly drown, but it definitely struggles a bit more because there's times when it's putting out too much RPS and there's times when it can't really put out enough RPS. So that's really all for this video. I don't like that I lost the footage, but there's almost no way I can recover episode 5, and I've been trying to recover 4, because 4 is like an hour-long video, I changed so much in 4. 5, I just did some more coloring. So I know 5's completely gone because I definitely didn't have it set up to have it saved to the cloud. I can't remember what I did before. It was a very long time ago. Don't really get your hopes up for seeing those 2 videos. That's the next week and a half. And thanks for watching. I'm probably going to post finale videos sometime today, actually, because I'm starting to lose hope on recovering those 2 videos. But that's all for today's video. I'll see you in the next one.